All right. Welcome back to Night Court. No need to keep on doing the intro. We are in for a hell of a show tonight, Lit Lane Jury Box. We are back in session and we are ready to go. Okay, welcome back, Sassy Friend. Welcome back, VA Sagittarius. Welcome back, my winter, my bailiff. Let me catch my breath. I was trying to get here to the desk, because we are indeed ready to reconvene on the state of Georgia versus Miles Bryant. Okay? At this moment in time, we're going to pick up where we left off and better. Just a real quick recap. We know that Susanna Morales was reported missing. Couldn't find her body, didn't know what had happened to her for over 196 days. Where her skeletal remains were found in a deep wooded area. Also to be recovered at the scene was this firearm. This firearm is what actually jump-started the true crime investigation into Miles Bryant, who at the time, 2023, was an active policeman. He is now standing trial for kidnapping and murder. Now, we've heard already from, the victim's family, her mom, her sister, a couple of friends. Tonight, we're finna jump into the best of testimony. We finna get right into the good, juicy parts. I know it's a murder trial, but we know it's juicy parts. That's what this show is about to deliver y'all. So go ahead and get ready. Everybody in their seat. Hey, welcome back to the box, Sean P. Welcome back, Miss Steph 219. Welcome back to Tea Lounge. I hope y'all are ready for some great testimony tonight. I got it lined up and it's a full show. So, on the stand, first is going to be the defendant's one of his ex-girlfriends. Okay, we're going to jump right into this testimony because there's 4 witnesses I want us to watch tonight. Without further delay, let's go. Please hit the like button.
Are you sure you don't want some water?
Welcome back, Jill.
Okay.
The defendant's ex-girlfriend is on the stand.
As I warned you, you're going to feel like Jack in the Box sometimes, okay? And so this afternoon, we had something we had to take out of your presence. Appreciate your patience, and we're ready to go forward with this witness. And ma'am, you're still under oath. All right, go ahead, Ms. Tucci.
Ms. Fair, before we took a break, we were talking about the relationship you had with Mr. Bryant. And you said at some point you learned that he was not faithful. Tell us why you came to that conclusion.
I got a message from another girl.
Okay.
EYONE.
Child, always when I think I'm super ready, I don't be super ready. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm super ready now. All right, there go to Usher. He is on point. He got the purse. Went to over there, posted. Good to go. Court is now back in session.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, if you would please be seated. Ma'am, have you ever testified in court before? Okay. This is
Hey,
my court
soldier.
reporter sitting right down here. She's taking everything down. We have to have a record that's required by law. And so she has to hear what you say. She can't see you nod. And she can't take down uh-huhs or uh-uhs. So we may say, is that a yes or is that a no? We need you to come into the microphones or pull them towards you. They can come, you can pull them towards your mouth because we need to be able to hear you. Would you like some water? You sure?
No, thank you.
Okay, if you decide you'd like some water, we'll get you some water. Okay?
Welcome back, Living.
Tell us your full name.
OCM,
Ariana
official
Keith
court
Smythe.
mediator. Lady, step in here.
Spell that?
Official, what it's called, not the secretary. Hold on.
ABYEATICESMYR.
Hold on. Hold on. I'm trying to make sure we get on point and just stay and do. But it's Lady Steph, our sergeant at arms, living our official court mediator, and went to the bailiff. It's all in their seats. The jury is here. Let's go.
And Ms. Meyer, I'm probably going to need you to either pull closer to the microphones or talk a little louder, okay?
And you can pull both of them, and sometimes that makes it best. You can pull it towards you. You sit between them.
Thank you. And Ms. Meyer, how old are you?
20. Sorry.
And what city do you currently live in?
Dallas,
Dallas,
Georgia.
Georgia? Okay. What city did you grow up in?
Augusta, Georgia.
And did you graduate from high school?
Yes.
Which high school did you go to?
East Paulding and Berkmar High School.
So you said first East Paulding?
First Berkmar High School, then East Paulding High School.
What grades did you go to at Berkmar?
9th.
And then East Paulding?
10th through 12th.
Okay. And what are you doing now?
I'm in nursing school and I work 2 jobs.
Okay, you're in nursing school. What school do you go to for nursing?
West Georgia.
What year are you in your nursing program?
Upcoming senior.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Did you start your senior year yet?
Yes, technically.
Okay. You're in classes right now?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Is that a
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right. And you said you work 2 jobs.
Yes.
Where do you work?
Longhorn and Choa.
CHOA? Is that Children's Healthcare of Atlanta?
Yes.
What do you do for Children's Healthcare?
I'm a patient care tech in the NICU.
Okay, awesome. So what do you do with that job?
A lot of errands for nurses, making sure they have everything they need for their babies.
Okay, that's excellent. How long have you been working at Children's Healthcare?
March of this year.
Which actual hospital are you at?
God is right.
And do you know Mr. Miles Bryant?
Yes.
When did you first meet him?
8th or 9th grade.
Okay. And how did you meet him in 8th or 9th grade?
At school, at Berkmar High School.
Berkmar? Okay. Were you the same age or the same grade?
No, I was a freshman and he was maybe a junior or senior.
Okay. Did you have any classes together?
No.
How did you actually meet?
I think it was in the hallway or after school.
Okay. And at some point, did you start dating?
Yes.
Tell us when you dated.
Starting at either like September, October of 2021.
And in September of 2021, were you still at Brookmar?
No,
Where were you then?
I was in college. I was a freshman at West Georgia.
Okay. So when you were in Berkmar with him, what was your relationship with him then?
Just good friends.
Okay. How did you go from friends to dating?
We talked throughout the years when I moved away from Berkmar, and we got back close after not talking for a while. We just started texting and talking more.
Do you know who reached out to who first?
Me.
And you said in September 2021?
Right.
And you're in college. What college were you in then?
West Georgia.
West Georgia.
Mhm.
And what year were you in school?
A freshman.
And at that point, when you started talking, you were in West Georgia. Where's West Georgia located?
Welcome back, Tweety.
Were you
Welcome
living,
back, Scarbell.
Over in Carrollton?
On campus.
Okay. And do you know where Mr. Bryant was?
Yes. I believe at the time he was still living at home with his mom.
And do you know what city that was in?
Gwinnett, Norcross, Georgia.
Okay. So you're in Carrollton, he's in Norcross, and you started dating.
Yes.
How long did you date?
I guess 2 years-ish, almost 2 years.
Okay, so September 2021, when do you think the relationship ended?
December 23.
And from September 21 to December 2023, were you full-time dating or were there any breaks in between?
No breaks.
Okay. Your relationship, you're in school, he's in Norcross. How often did you guys see each other?
It would differ, sometimes every week, sometimes maybe once a month. We have busy schedules.
Okay. Were you driving to Gwinnett or he was driving to Carrollton?
I drove to Gwinnett maybe 3-4 times the whole time. He always came to me.
Okay. And you're living in a dorm? Did he stay in the dorm with you?
No. Yes, at some point.
Okay. No. So sometimes he stayed in the dorm?
Once or twice.
Okay. The other times when he came to see you in Carrollton, what would you guys do?
We would go get food, maybe go see a movie or hang out somewhere. We went to a rage room before, stuff like that.
Okay. When you came to Gwinnett, what kind of stuff did you guys do?
The one time I remember we went, I don't remember what it was called, but it was some type of place that had a lot of games and things like that. And we went to the mall.
Okay. During your relationship from September of 2021 to December of 2023, were you dating anyone else besides Mr. Bryant?
No.
Did you consider your relationship exclusive at that point?
Yes.
Do you know if he was dating anyone else?
I do now.
What does that mean?
I had suspicions when we were together, but none confirmed until towards the end, and then very much confirmed once all of this stuff came out.
You said you had suspicions. Did you ever confront him about those suspicions?
Yes. There was a reason for stuff, an excuse for things that were going on.
Okay, explain to us what led to your suspicions. Why did you have suspicions?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to relevancy.
And here she go. Little Miss, look how she's looking at her.
Understand the relevance to this case.
Your Honor, it's relevant for the statements that the defendant will make in his interview.
I'm sorry, I didn't.
We're making
The
it.
statements that Detective Carter will testify to.
I know, right? Right now she's like, okay, this is some real court TV shit.
I'm not quite certain
Okay.
how that's going to be
All
relevant.
right. Hold on a second. I'm going to ask the jury. I'm going to ask Eddie to take the jury out for just a few minutes.
All right, so we're gonna listen to a couple of minutes of this good lawyering that's gonna happen here, but we're not gonna listen to it all. We're gonna skip back to when the judge make the decision and let the testimony
take
in.
the witness out.
But we'll listen a little bit to this good attorney.
And we'll be right back with you, ma'am.
Welcome back,
I'll
everybody,
do
to the
what
Little
he's
Lane
doing
Jury
back
Box
there.
here on Trial Watch with
Yeah,
Demetria. Please bang your gavel on the like.
And I'm sorry, can you repeat that? 'Cause your last statement threw me off. That he told her what he was doing on the.
In
July 27, 2022. July 26, 27, 2022.
as I understand it, help me make it, I've watched the interview, the whole 3.5 hours. Mr. Bryant gives a detailed description of where he was the night the night Susanna Morales went missing.
Right,
That his girlfriend, Miss Parks, was chasing him around
correct,
in a car
correct,
because he was caught cheating on her.
correct. Not with this.
Not with this young lady.
Another girlfriend,
The
y'all.
state-
Say you.
Proffer is that the defendant has said where he was on
All right. So
July-
yada yada yada, bang bang bang. They decided to let the testimony
Wait a minute.
in.
Okay,
Let's
okay,
continue.
so the 41, as I warned you, you're gonna feel like Jack in the Box sometimes, okay? And so this afternoon, we had something we had to take out of your presence. Appreciate
I know,
your
I gotta get a
patience,
gavel banging.
and we're ready to go forward with this witness. And
No
you're
worries,
still
Jill.
under
Glad
oath.
y'all here.
All right, go ahead, Ms. Michucki.
Ms. Fair, before we took a break, we were talking about the relationship you had with Mr. Bryant. And you said at some point you learned that he was not faithful. Tell us why you came to that conclusion.
I got a message from another girl
Okay.
asking how I knew him as her boyfriend.
Okay. Did you also During your relationship with Mr. Bryant, you said that you would see him sometimes once a week and sometimes once a month. Is that correct?
Yes.
How often did you communicate?
Every day.
How did you communicate? What platforms?
Mostly FaceTime
Okay.
and then messaging.
FaceTime and messaging, like text messages?
Yes.
Okay. Did you also, are you friends on any social media platforms with him?
Yes.
Okay. Which platforms did you use?
Instagram, Snapchat.
Okay. But mostly texting and FaceTime.
Yes.
During the communication when you were not together and you guys were communicating, were there times that he had to end the call or get off the phone?
No. When we were not together.
So when you were together in a relationship, but not
Yes.
physically in the same location?
Oh, yes, yes.
Okay. So you mentioned something about excuses.
Yes.
Tell us what you meant by excuses. There were a lot of excuses.
It was always, oh, somebody's calling me, or hold on, I'll call you right back, or hold on, it's my mom. Something like that.
How often was that happening?
Almost every time we're on the phone.
You have to speak up.
Almost every time we were on the phone.
And at the time when those excuses were happening in the relationship, did you suspect anything other than him having to go get off the phone or go talk to his mom?
Yes.
What did you think was going on?
There was something else that was getting his attention.
Did you confront Mr. Bryant about something else getting his attention?
Yes.
And when you did, what would the response be?
Oh, I'm just busy, or work stuff, or stuff like that.
Okay. You said when you first started dating, he lived at home with his parents.
Yes.
Was there a time in your relationship that he ended up moving out of his parents' home?
Yes.
Where did he move to? Do you know?
I don't know the name of the neighborhood, but the apartments in Gwinnett.
In Gwinnett?
Yeah.
Do you know which city in Gwinnett?
I think Norcross.
Okay. And that apartment in Norcross, how long did he live there during your relationship?
I believe it was majority of the relationship.
Okay. Did you ever, the majority of your relationship, he was living in that apartment in Norcross?
Yes.
Did you ever go to that apartment in Norcross?
Yes, twice.
Twice?
Yes.
Those 2 times, did you spend the night?
I did once.
So only one time during more than 2 years of dating that you slept at his house?
Yes.
Did you ever try to go over to that apartment or see him at his house any more times?
Yes.
What would the response be?
Oh, I'm busy, or I'll come to you, or just deflecting.
Okay. At any point in your relationship, did Mr. Bryant mention anything about a teenage girl named Susanna Morales going missing from Norcross?
She was never mentioned by name, but he did tell me when they found her.
What do you mean when they found her?
We were on the phone and he was just
That's
like, oh, they found the girl's body. And I'm like, what girl? And then he told me a little bit about how, what happened, like where she was from, Gwinnett. And then it was very brief. But yeah.
Did you know why he was telling you about that?
No, I just thought it was routine for just telling me stuff about his job or police stuff.
I bet his ass was scared as hell when he saw
Prior
that.
to the conversation about her body being found, had you and Mr. Bryant talked about the young girl going missing?
No.
Did you know about it from the news or any other source?
No.
Okay. And when he said that that girl was found, did you ask him why he was telling you?
No.
Okay. How long was that? I'm sorry?
Sometimes he would mention stuff about police stuff, so I didn't think anything of it.
Okay. That conversation when he said the girl was found, do you know when that you had that conversation?
Welcome back to Wobble.
I believe it was very close to when he got arrested. Okay. Probably within a month or so, maybe.
Okay. During your relationship with Mr. Bryant, do you know what type of vehicle he owned?
Yes.
What was it?
A Ford F-150.
Do you know what color it was?
Black.
And did you ever go in that vehicle?
Yes.
At any point in the relationship, did you ever notice any damage to that truck?
Yes.
Tell us what the damage was that you saw on the truck.
There were some scratches on the sides, like along from the front to the back, and the side view mirrors were cracked.
You said scratches on the side from the front to the back. The front, are you talking about which part? When you mean front, what do you mean?
Horizontally from like on the left side or right side from the light to like the back, the front to back.
So the headlights to all the way to the back of the truck, like where the
Right.
tag is?
Right.
Was it on one side or both sides?
I think both.
Do you know, did it look like something, do you know how the scratches got there?
No.
Did you ask about how the scratches got there?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Remember approximately when that was that you saw those scratches on the side of the truck?
I don't remember. I just know it was warm outside. It was hot outside.
It's hot outside. Okay. Had you seen
Alana
them
came up
before?
missing in July of 22.
And when you
Sometime
asked him
months.
about the scratches on the
Welcome
side
back
of
to the
the
box,
truck,
Burberry.
what did
Thank
he
you, OG.
see?
Hey,
It was
OG.
around the time where the gun got stolen.
What do you mean
So-
gun got stolen?
When he mentioned his gun got stolen out of his truck, it was around that same time.
Okay. All right. So first, we talked about scratches on a truck. You said,
Right. Right.
and then you said a mirror was cracked.
Right.
Which mirror was cracked?
I don't remember.
No,
that.
are we talking about the mirrors on the outside, the side
Yes.
mirrors, or the mirror inside the car?
Outside.
The outside mirrors.
Right.
Okay, so one of them was cracked, and the scratches were on it. Did
Can
he
you
say that he had
please
been?
answer audibly? Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Yes. Did he
Yes.
say if he had been in a wreck or a car crash?
No.
Did you know how the mirror got cracked?
No.
And that was at the same time that you saw the scratches?
Yes.
Okay. And you said that was also around the time a gun was stolen. Tell us
Yes.
about how you know about a gun being stolen.
He called me, I believe, told me his gun got stolen out of his truck. That was the end of that.
Okay. Did he say anything else was stolen out of this truck?
Not that I can remember.
Did you know during your relationship, did you know where he kept his gun?
No.
Did you ever see it in a truck?
Yes, I've seen it in the truck before.
Do you know where in the truck you would see it?
The middle, like where the cup holders are. Maybe.
Okay, so like the center console area?
Yes.
And when the truck that Mr. Bryant had, you said it was a Ford. Did the truck have automatic locks that locked when you got out of the car, or did you have to lock it with like a key or a remote?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. Do you remember if Mr. Bryant would lock his truck when you got out of it?
No.
Okay, that's okay. But you said when he told you the gun was stolen, did he tell you what he did about the gun being stolen? Did he try and find it?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Do you know why he told you his gun was stolen?
I think it's just telling me what was going on at the time.
Okay. And you said the gun being stolen was the same time you saw the scratches and the cracked mirror.
Yes. Yes.
At any point, did you find out if the scratches were ever fixed?
Thank you for the $4.99 super chat, lady self. Welcome back.
Yes, because the next time I saw him, they weren't on the truck anymore.
Okay. Did you talk to him
Sergeant
about
at
the
Arms.
damage being fixed?
No.
What about the mirror? Did you see the mirror still broken when you saw the truck the next time?
No.
Okay. But you don't know how it got fixed?
No.
After he told you the gun was stolen, did you ever see him carrying the gun after that?
I don't remember.
Did he always carry a gun when he was not working?
Yes.
Where would the gun be? Would he carry it on his person?
Yes.
And do you know how he carried it? Like which part of his body he carried it on?
Probably like on his stomach, like in
On
the,
his hip?
Mhm.
Okay. But you can't remember after he told you it was stolen if he ever had it.
Right. And he had multiple guns, so I don't know if, I just don't know.
Did he tell you which one was stolen?
No, not that I can remember.
On the night of, you said, so you're living in Carrollton in school.
Yes.
Did you, during the summer months of back in July of 2022, were you living in Carrollton then?
Yes, I was still living there, but I was back and forth home.
Okay. Would you take summer classes?
Yes.
Okay. You said you were back and forth between home. Where was home?
Dallas, Georgia.
Okay. And in Dallas, Georgia, who did you stay with?
My mom.
And do you remember, were you still in a relationship with Mr. Bryant back then in July of 20?
Yes.
Do you remember what your phone number was back then? Do you still have the same phone?
Yes.
Same phone number?
Yeah.
What's your phone number?
678-458-1707.
I'm going to show you some photographs that are marked space 41, 41.1, 41.2, and 41.3. If you can take a moment and look at these. Do you recognize those?
Yes.
Are those what are those photographs of?
Messages from the night.
What night? Which date?
July 26th, 2022.
Are those messages from your phone?
Yes.
And are those who are those messages between you and who else?
Miles. Sorry.
And are those true and accurate photographs of messages from your cell phone?
Yes.
To Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
41, 41.1, 41.2, and 41.3.
No objection.
Okay, State's Exhibit 41, 41.1, 41.2, 41.3 are admitted without objection.
And do you remember that night?
Not clearly.
After seeing those messages, do you remember, I guess, where you were that night?
Yes.
Where were you?
School.
School in Carrollton?
Yes.
Do you remember talking to Mr. Bryant that night?
Briefly, yes.
Tell us what was going on that night between you and Mr. Bryant.
We were arguing about something with another girl. I don't remember clearly. But it was a very short conversation.
Do you remember the other girl's name?
Yes.
What was her name?
Zenobia.
Did you ever meet Zenobia?
No.
You're on our permission to publish dates 41 through 43.
Yes.
Sidebar, we will be hearing from Zenobia
Yes.
tonight.
And we see at the top Miles Bryant.
Let me take this.
What is that a picture?
The contact picture?
Yes.
Him and I.
Okay. Did you take that picture?
I did.
Let y'all see it up close in case y'all knows it. I know y'all are. Let me make it bigger. So this is the screen contact picture. Okay. I'll make sure we pause so we can see these text messages. July 26th. That's the day that that's the night that she was of the crime. Hope you're having a good shift. I didn't call to see. Let her read it, but I'm gonna pause it.
And
Night of the crime.
what is the date on these text messages?
July 26, 2022.
Okay. And I'm gonna have you the first message, the gray message, is that you or him?
Him.
Okay. You said that you were arguing.
Yes.
What time of day you guys were arguing?
This is at
Welcome back to the
9:30,
box
but
seats,
I
girl.
believe
Glad you're here.
it was that night. I don't know what time exactly.
And you said you were arguing, was that on the phone or FaceTime or text?
Both.
Okay. And when you were talking to him and arguing, did you know where he was?
No.
Okay. Did you know if he was working or at home or off time?
Off.
Okay. I'm gonna have you read these messages, okay, and the time. The
From
messages, who is that, the first one?
him.
Okay.
You want me to read that?
Yeah.
Hope you're having a good shift. I didn't call.
And when he's talking about a shift, what is he talking about?
I was at Longhorn.
Okay. You can keep reading.
Nope. I say things I don't necessarily mean because I was still looking for a text or call, but I guess you're trying to show me how to live without you.
And we see.
Okay, I am not gonna keep pausing it, but not live without you. Let's go.
The time next to it, what is that time?
9:33.
Young love.
And did you know where he was then?
No.
Okay. You can keep going.
No, that's not it. And it's okay. You meant it all from you losing respect from you to not wanting to hear from me. I was worried though. I don't want nothing to happen to you.
Okay.
And yeah, don't get me wrong. I don't say things for the hell of it, but I was waiting for you to talk to me all day and you didn't. I cried from the moment I woke up till it was time to go to work about this. And I was worried as well with not hearing anything because you were drinking.
And what time is this now?
9:48.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yes.
And no matter what, I'm trying. No matter how mad I am at you, I want you to talk to me. I want you to try, even if you're hurt, even if you don't. If you don't want to be with me, I'd rather you say that than not talk to me. I keep talking to you because I want to know shit and be communicated with. And the more you decide to ignore me and not talk to me, the more and more distance between us. When I say tell me if you don't want to be together, I mean it. I'm not staying nowhere. I'm not wanted. I'm not 1,000% wanted.
And you're talking about not communicating and ignoring you. Do you know what? Remember why you were saying those things about him ignoring you?
Yes, because it was a constant thing. If I was having a problem with something, he didn't like to have a serious conversation with me.
Okay. And on this night of July 26, 2022, was he ignoring you that night?
Yes.
Okay. If we could go to 41.1. At the time, what was the last time that you said when you're telling him you're ignoring?
10:50.
Okay. And we're gonna go, Your Honor, to 41.1. And do you remember, did you try to call him when you were texting him about this stuff?
Probably, because he said he was on the phone with his mom, so I probably did try to call him.
So you're still talking to Miles.
Good line ass.
The first text, who is that?
Him.
And what does that say?
Hold up on the phone with my mom.
And what time is that?
10:57.
Do you know if he was on his phone with his mom or not?
No.
Okay. And would he tell you in the past that he was on the phone with his mom?
Yes.
How often was that?
Often.
Okay. You can keep reading.
Okay, well, this needs to be solved tonight. We're too over the not communicating and don't know what's going on in the supposed relationship. If you choose not to call me, I know where we stand at 10:58. And you need to learn how to prioritize. You can and will talk to your mom all the time. Your mom is your mom and will always be your mom. I will not always be your girlfriend if I can't be a priority. When we're going through some shit, you always got to talk to your mom or be on the phone with your mom. Sometimes you can grow up and tell your mom, you'll call her back, because I always do that for you at 11 o'clock. And then I replied to my message and said tonight, 11:10.
What were you saying tonight for?
Oh, I said it needs to be solved tonight.
Okay. And did he respond?
No.
No? Okay. And did you respond back?
Yeah, I texted again.
What time did you text next?
12:58.
Okay.
What'd you hang up for? Because this is irritating all the time. We can't have one conversation without you hanging up.
Do you remember how long you spoke to him before you hung up?
No.
And do you remember, did he just hang up or did he give you a reason for hanging up?
I don't remember.
And that was at what time?
12:58.
Okay. If we can go Your Honor, for 41.2. And what date is this?
July 27, 2022.
So is this the next early morning hours?
Yes, 2:36 a.m.
Okay. And what is his text?
You here at 2:36. At 2:36, I said wrong person, perhaps. 2:37, he said no, I was butt texting.
What do you mean butt texting? Do you know?
I guess an accidental message.
Okay.
2:37, I said, yeah, not the time for that.
Did you know where he was when he said you here?
No.
Okay.
And, well, he told me he was at home. I guess I can say that.
He told you he was home?
Yes.
Okay. And when you were calling him, he was supposedly home
Yes.
and he was not answering?
Right. Not working. He said he was working on reports that night. Something for work.
Something for work?
Yes.
But he was off?
Yes.
Off of work?
Right.
Okay. You can read the next messages that he sent.
2:37, LOL, stop, damn, just throw me out there like that. 2:37, I said, but I'm gonna leave that alone. 2:37, I said, yeah, because it seems very much like you hanging up on me, so I don't hear or see certain things. But again, I'm gonna leave that alone. At 2:38, and then 3:07, hey, what you doing?
That's from him?
Yes.
Okay.
3:07, I said I was on TikTok. He said, oh. I said, yep. 3:40, he said these reports kicking my ass.
Do you know what he was talking about there for these reports kicking my ass?
Yes, the reports from work, whatever happened throughout the day when he was at work.
So writing police reports?
Yes.
Write police reports on his off time?
Yes.
Okay. But you didn't know where he was then?
He was at home,
You
from my
thought he was-
knowledge.
From your knowledge, he was at home
Right.
at 3 in the morning?
Right.
Okay.
And I said, hope you get them done in a reasonable time at 3:50.
Okay. And we'll move on to the next one, 41.3.
July 27th, 2022 at 5:07. He said,
5:07 a.m.?
correct. He said, I just finished. And at 11:19, July 27th, I said, okay, have a good day.
Okay. Did you ever find out where he was at that time?
Yes,
Where?
where the body was found.
At some point,
Yes, indeed. She at this point in time at the trial, she know now that at the time he was sending all that shit, and at the time she knew he was full of shit, she know now he was at the place where the body was found. So this is the welcome everybody who may have came in late. This is the ex-girlfriend, one of them. Keywords, one of them. This the ex-girlfriend at the time of the crime. The text message is going through back and forth from them. I'm going to just say one thing that's really standing out to me and I took note of is when he said, I want to make sure nothing happened to you. This is the day that he hurt Susanna, kidnapped Susanna, and her body, her skeleton came up 196 days later. This is girlfriend at the time. He telling her he worried while ducking and dodging her calls. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, he had already hurt this girl. Not hurt, unalived her.
did you learn
That's
about
the trial with
Mr. Bryant being arrested?
all day.
Yes.
How did you learn about that?
At about 8 that
Welcome
night,
back
I had
in the
got out of
bank.
my CNA class, and a friend from Gwinnett County called me asking if I was okay. And I was like, yeah, what's going on? And so she sent it to me.
Did you speak to Mr. Bryant in the Gwinnett County Jail?
Yes.
How often do you speak to Mr. Bryant in the Gwinnett County Jail?
Every day.
When did you decide to end the relationship?
In December of 2023.
Why did you decide to end the relationship?
We were distant. I started to think a little bit more about what was actually going on because I was distancing myself from the case matters because I didn't know what was going on. So I started to actually think and wonder what's happening as far as the case. And then I had a lot going on with school and life. So I just got distant myself. We stopped talking. So then I didn't feel the need to stay with him anymore.
Why did you decide to stay with you? Still date him while he was in jail?
Yes. I didn't believe what was going on, to be completely honest with you. I just Miles, like in my head, Miles would never do what was being said. So I didn't believe anything. I was staying by him as a good friend, as a good girlfriend. That was the right thing to do in my mind at the time.
At some point, did your mind change?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
What's your legal objection?
May we just approach briefly?
Yes.
Hell no, don't be trying to approach briefly because you don't know what the objection is. You can't object to what the hell she's saying and she about to fall her ass out this chair. Okay? Don't be trying it. The girl say she was trying to be a good goddamn girlfriend. She didn't have no proof. At first she tried to hang in there, but then she thought about it. Oh, hell no. This nigga on and getting arrested for murder. Wait a minute. Oh, hell no. He can kidnap somebody? Oh, no. Nigga, I don't know you like that. I am 19 years old. I ain't got no kids for you. I only drove my car a couple of times down there to see you, homeboy. Khadijah don't need you. Khadijah don't need you. Okay. Period. And good for you, young lady. Now make sure you don't fall out that damn chair. Let's continue. Miss F219 say 100. Sean P say period. Wobble say, girl, you dodged a bullet. Shit, you dodged a bullet, a hatchet, a trip in the goddamn woods. Okay? She dodged a lot of shit. Okay, you are tuned in to Best of Trial Watch with Demetri. We got the ex-girlfriend on the stand. We about to finish her up. Let's get to it. So we got 3 more juicy testimonies to go tonight.
Ma'am, you're excused for today, but you're still under subpoena.
Now, one thing we heard them mention kind of in a roundabout way, we're going to look at it tomorrow, is the body cam footage of him making the stolen gun report. Because remember, what sparked the investigation into him as the perpetrator was when they found that girl's skeletal remains in the deep woods. They also found nearby his gun that was linked to this crime, his gun that he called in reported stolen the day she was actually reported missing. Hold on, I'm trying to get the next one up. And also the gun, okay, hold on. Yeah, so we're gonna watch that tomorrow, okay? So now we're jumping into the character, people who know him, his actions, his behaviors, his mindset, his activities around the time of the crime. We are into that phase of the trial. So can't talk and chew bubblegum, so let me choose to just chew the gum. One moment. Next up, the next witness on the stand is going to be a Miss Tracy Cobb. No, excuse me, Tracy Bryant. Now, this is actually the defendant's mother. Okay, this is the defendant's mother going to be on stand. She, the court allowed for her not to be pictured on camera, so we're going to be looking at her lap and everything. But this is Tracy Bryant. Let's get to it. Hold on, let me pause it real quick. Come to the comments. Let's see what we're thinking. Let me read the start comments first that I wanted to come back to. Tweety had a sidebar question. Has anybody in here ever been subpoenaed to be a witness on a court case? You know, that's a real good question. We asked before about being actually being jurors on cases, but has anyone ever been subpoenaed to be a witness? Very interesting. If you're catching this on a replay, don't forget to let me know. Had you ever been subpoenaed by a court to be a witness in any type of trial? That's real interesting. Let us know in the comments and be a part of the Little Lane jury box. Next up, we got the defendant's mom. Oh, let me see what else I'm supposed to do. Nope.
Thank you.
Hold on.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So, Wobble, I wanted to ask you. You had said real interesting. You said, I'm not sure she's being truthful. I think she's trying to save him. So once she finished her testimony, what you thinking now? What's up, Kurt Vixen? Star Bell, you was subpoenaed to be a witness. That's interesting, girl. Make sure you come back under the comments on the video and engage with the channel and leave us a little quick, synopsis. Linda say, have been a juror once and rejected in the interview to be a juror once. Well, don't take rejection hard. Welcome back, Kurt Vixen. All right, y'all. We're going to keep this train moving with this next witness. Let's see. Interest in the Wobble, and that definitely happens. But check out the mom. Once you drop down in the chat, you're part of the Lit Lane jury box, an unofficial member. The ones in green, they are official jurors. But anywho, drop down and participate in the chat. Hit the like if you're in the crowd listening. Don't forget it's a
Good
playlist.
morning, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate you being on time. I think everybody was early. I got notice of that. We all were here at 9, but we had a few legal. Okay, if you want some. Right. Have you ever testified in court, ma'am?
No, ma'am.
Okay. It's really important that you answer audibly so that my court reporter can take down your responses. And it's really important that you speak loudly into the microphone so that you can be heard. I have instructed all the press at your request in the defendant's motion not to film your face during your testimony, okay? And just, the attorneys are going to ask you questions. If you may anticipate what they're asking and want to jump in there and answer, and then both of y'all talk at the same time, and then Sheila, my court reporter, can't take that down. Okay. And if you need any water, we can stop at any time.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. If you would, introduce yourself to the jury and tell us your name.
My name is Tracy Bryant.
All right. And Ms. Bryant, would you mind please spelling your name for the court reporter?
TRACEYBRYANT.
All right. And Ms. Bryant, how are you related to the defendant, Miles Bryant?
He's my son.
Ms. Bryant, you don't have to give us your address, but can you tell us generally where you live?
Across Georgia.
All right. And did the defendant, did he grow up in your home?
Yes.
And at some point, did he move out of your home to an apartment over at the Sterling Glen Apartments?
Yes.
Do you recall approximately when he moved out and left your home?
No.
Okay. Now, when he moved out, did you ever visit him at that apartment complex?
No.
Okay. Had you ever met not any, let me be more specific. Had you ever met either girlfriend of your sons, Miss Avion Smyer or Miss Zenobia Parks?
Yes.
And you met both of them?
Yes.
Did you ever spend time with them?
Yes.
Would that be at your house or at the defendant's home?
I've never been to his home.
That makes sense. So was it at your house or somewhere else?
Sometimes at my house, sometimes somewhere else.
Okay. How many times do you think that let me ask it a different way. Did you spend time with either one of the young ladies and your son regularly?
No,
Ms. Bryant, there's going to take you back to the night of July 26th of 2022. Would you please tell the court what your phone number is?
no.
Well, I'm going to have to ask the court to instruct the witness to answer the question.
You have to give your phone number, ma'am.
And my whole phone number on
Yes, your whole phone number.
770-256-0216.
Well, damn, we can't see him, but we can call him.
But I have to ask you, did you ever call?
Wait. Damn. Hold on. Y'all, this is something I want to say. Let's talk in the chat. I'm going to refrain. I'm going to stay in the chat. Because we it's good tonight. It's juicy tonight. Best stuff. Let's go.
Or text with your son?
Yes.
Whether you regularly, would you call and text and talk to your son regularly?
Yes.
How far from, if you know, how far from your home is it to the apartment where your son was living in?
Maybe 3 to 5 miles. I'm not sure.
How long do you think it would take to drive it?
Maybe less than 2 minutes.
Okay. Now, back on July 26th of 2022, do you recall getting a text message from the defendant at 11:51 p.m. where he said, "It's me"?
No,
All right. Now let me, as you don't recall or you didn't get the text message?
I don't recall, nor did I get it. Do I know if I got a text message?
Okay. I'm going to show something to Ms. Drake here momentarily. Ms. Bryant, I have in my hand what I marked as State's Exhibit number 54. This is a printout of a text message between your son and you on July 26th of 2022 at 11:51 p.m. If I show this to you, do you think it might refresh your recollection as to whether or not you got a text message from your son that night?
Probably not.
You don't think it will refresh your recollection?
Not from July to 2022. I mean, it may, but I talked to him a lot.
Well, let me just say.
Yeah, lady. But what they saying is they about to show you a text message on your phone that show you what he was saying the day this girl came up missing. And now we know she did. And they found your son gun. And he lied, etc., etc., etc. So when we show you this goddamn text message, is you gonna be able to sit here and say, "Oh yeah, that's my phone record. Oh yeah, I don't remember, but now I see. It refreshed my memory, girl." Boo.
You take a look at it.
Okay.
You don't have to read it out loud. You just look at it yourself. I'll point out to you here what's important. Here is the time. This is who it is from. To is from the owner of the phone to this phone number, which is 770-256-0216. And here is the content of the message here. Take a look at that.
The content, it says it's me.
Well, and you don't have to read it out. I just want you to read that. Look at that yourself. Ms. Bryant, you looked at State's Exhibit 54.
Yes.
After looking at that, does it refresh your recollection about whether the defendant texted you at 11:51 saying "it's me"?
No.
It doesn't refresh your recollection? Okay. Well, let me ask you, did he text you at 11:51 saying "it's me"?
If you have it on the paper, I'm sure, but I don't remember. I don't remember for July 2022.
And I understand. You've been aware since the defendant's arrest that he's been charged with these offenses, right?
Yes.
You talk to him on a regular basis?
Yes.
Now, so you're pretty familiar with a lot of the facts in the case?
I mean, what you've told me.
You and I have talked before.
Yes.
Okay.
Who got their phone on?
Deputy, would you take the phone?
Yes.
Hold on just a moment.
Yeah, take
Oh,
their
is it
phone.
your phone?
Yeah, and I just dropped it on the thing. I'm sorry. I put it on the bench.
All right, it's the witness's phone. No, it needs to be turned off.
Right out. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Turned off.
No, you need to be apologizing for acting
No
like you
problem.
got doggone crazy.
We all forget. Thank you,
Yeah,
Debbie.
but we don't forget to see when we see them goddamn text
Are you
messages.
aware that
Yeah,
the day that we're
they come
talking
up and say,
about,
"Girl,
July
stop tripping."
26th of 2022, are you aware that's
Okay, hold my mute.
that's the
Hold my
night
mute.
that Miss Morales, the victim in the case, went missing?
You told me this about 2 weeks ago when you and I spoke on the phone, and I told you I had to go back through my pictures to see that date, but I don't recall.
Let me ask you, that night, do you remember the defendant coming over to your house and knocking on the door or coming into your home in any way?
That's it.
Okay. Now, that same night, and I know it's been a long time ago, that same night, the defendant told Ms. Meyer that he was on the phone with you, said that he was talking to his mama, and around 10:58 p.m. Do you recall having a phone conversation with him that night?
No.
Are you aware that his phone records show no call taking place between the two of you at that time or any time that night?
I don't remember anything about July, that date. I don't know. We talk all the time, but I don't know the dates. I can't tell you. I talked to him in June or July, August.
You talk to him frequently.
Yes.
Would you say it was about, every day?
Not every day.
Do you recall the next morning? So this is not July 26th, but the next day, July 27th, at around 6 a.m. in the morning, you responded to your son's text message, the "It's me" text message, and asked him what's up. Do you remember sending him that text message?
I mean, it's possible. I don't remember.
But do you have any recollection in between those times, 11:51 p.m. till approximately 6 a.m.? Do you have any recollection of seeing or talking to your son that night at all?
I don't know. I don't remember. I mean, his schedule, he worked at night, so he called in the mornings when he got off, but I can't tell you that day.
Were you aware that he was not working that night?
I'm not aware. Like I told you on the phone, we were out of town. So when we came back, I'm sure I talked to him, but I don't remember.
And I understand, and that's all right. I do appreciate you being here and answering the questions. Thank you, ma'am.
Hi, Miss Bryant, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I just have a question for you. If you and your husband were asleep or if y'all were not at home or something, is there a way that Miles would have access to your home?
Yes.
And how is that?
Yes, a garage door opener.
And how does that get him into your home if he's able to get into the garage?
He comes through the garage and comes through the house, comes inside through the kitchen.
So is that, do you leave the door unlocked
Yes.
inside the garage?
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you, ma'am.
Anything further from the state? May we release this witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, you're released. You can stay in the courtroom if you'd like, or you can leave. Thank you so much.
So what we thinking of mama?
I misspoke. I am asking this should be subject to recall, but I have no issue with her remaining in the courtroom if she so chooses.
But you ain't
Okay.
seen his daddy,
All right, you
Tweety.
sure?
Yes, Your Honor. I spoke.
Tweety girl, you ain't seen his daddy. It could just be the daddy, or her mama and them could be dark. But beyond, hey. But I didn't hear her say nothing about at all about this being no stepson, no foster son, no adopted son. You know what I'm saying? This her son, and it's her son enough where she don't even want her face to goddamn be shown. Okay. Now, Kurt Vixen say, am I the only one think she lying about talking to him that night? Girl, you're not the only one thinking that she lying about talking to him that night. They showed her black ass talking about his mama. They just showed her the call, the text message. They just showed her the documented proof. Okay, y'all, that's not his biological mama. Cool, cool, cool. That's her son Ish. Cool, cool, cool. Now we know that's her stepmama, foster mama, adopted mama. But one thing we know for goddamn truth for sure is that that's his line ass mama. Okay? That's his line ass mama, god mama, good auntie, fairy godmother. Whatever she is, she good for lying. She should have just said, look here, I plead the fifth. We already know she a hostile witness because the state called her, right? More importantly, she ain't, you know what I'm saying? I can imagine, I can see her being embarrassed. I can see her not want to show her face. All that, I was going to let her ass make it. Winter already pointed out the fact that they got all the traumatized victims and stuff like that showing their face. How she get off the hook for showing her face? I understood that, right? And I'm like, okay, that's because she don't want no type of what is called retaliation. She don't want, you know, all that come with the fact of having a badass goddamn murder cop son-ish, godson-ish, whatever the hell their relationship is. That's why they let her not show her face. But yeah, she could have kept that bullshit. Moving right along. Welcome to Trial Watch with Demetra. It's an interesting trial watch over here. It's the best stuff. I am the Honorable Judge D. Lit. And it is D. Lit for a reason. Moving right along to the other girlfriend, Sonovatovia. Okay? Sonovatovia, whatever her name is, we're going to find out. But this is the girl that was son of Jason. Thank you. The next witness is another girlfriend who we just heard from the first young lady. She had a feeling and eventually found out he was messing with. So at this point in time, 2 girlfriends on the line, 2 women he talking to on the line, but yet in the midst of 2 women he talking to on the line, he go out the same, you know, and kill this girl and do who knows what to her. Let's get into this testimony.
Photographs or video of your face.
If y'all enjoying this content, please hit the like. Let me know in the comments.
Being able to be heard through the mask. We'll try it with that, and if you can't be heard,
I would just take it off.
are you comfortable taking it off?
Yeah, as long as it's not recorded.
Okay, that'll be fine. Thank you very much. Would you like some water?
Oh, no, thank you.
Okay.
Uh-oh, there goes some water.
And let me just remind you.
Now she's not showing her face either.
She's taking everything down that you say, and so she can't tell if you're nodding or shaking your head, and she doesn't take down or because there might be a mistake. So we may say, is that a yes? Is that a no? And please just wait till the 2 attorneys ask their question before you start answering. We all have this instinct. We know what they're going to ask, and we're going to get the answer out. And then Sheila, I get in trouble with my court reporter because she can't take down 2 people at once. Okay? All right.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Would you please introduce yourself to the court and tell us your name?
Synovia Parks.
All right, and Ms. Parks, if you could you mind spelling your name, please?
SANOVIAPARKS.
Thank you so much. Ms. Parks, how old are you?
I'm 21.
And where do you currently live? You don't have to give us the address.
Oh,
just generally, where do you currently live?
Norcross.
Norcross. And who do you live with?
My parents.
All right. Now, do you know the defendant, Miles Bryant?
Yes.
And can you tell us how you know him?
We grew up as kids.
So, how old were you when you met him?
Like elementary, I don't know how old.
Okay. You've known him for a long time?
Yes.
At some point, did you live near him when you were growing up?
No.
How'd you meet him?
School.
And at some point, did you begin a romantic relationship with him?
Yes.
Now, I know maybe it might be hard to give us exact dates, and I'm not asking for exact dates, just the best that you can remember. When did you start a relationship with the defendant?
2019.
2019. And at that time, where were you living?
With my parents.
And where was he living at?
With his parents.
Now, so that's 4 years ago, approximately. Do you know when in 2019?
No.
Now, 4 years ago, does that make you about 17 at the time?
I think so. Yes.
How much? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
It's okay.
Did you have something else?
Oh, no.
Okay. How much older than you is the defendant?
About 2 years.
So if you were 17, was he approximately 19 years old at the time y'all started dating?
I can't remember.
But you.
Okay, so even though he was young, he liked these young girls. He liked these girls. Even when he was young, he was dating girls a couple of years younger than him. Okay. All right. Let me go. Let me hold my mute.
He's about 2 years older than
Let's
you?
put it together.
Yes.
Okay. Now, throughout the relationship that you had, at some point, did the defendant move out of his parents' home?
Yes. Yes.
And where did he move to?
Sterling Glen Apartments.
Were you in a relationship with him at the time that he moved?
Yes.
And when he, at some point, did you also move into the home with the defendant at Sterling Glen Apartments?
Yes.
And if you can remember, when was that?
I really can't remember.
Okay. Now, we're going to talk about some specific facts here on July 26th, and we've already talked about that before. But just to give you a reference point, July 26th of 2022. How long before that? How long had you been living? Were you living in the apartment at that time?
I can't remember.
Okay. How long do you think you lived with the defendant at the apartment at Sterling Glen?
I want to say like 8 months, probably.
Okay. And let me ask, maybe this might be easier for us to narrow down a time. When did you move out?
I can't remember.
Okay, and that's all right. Let me ask, when the defendant was arrested, February 13th of 2023, were you still staying at the apartment at that time?
No.
Okay, so you had moved out and left sometime before then?
Yes.
How long before then do you think? And you can just give us, you don't have to give us exact days. Are we talking days, weeks, months? Do you have any idea?
I can't remember. I know, as far as I know, I just moved out and I stayed with my parents from then.
Okay. Now, I have come to learn that with many people, it's hard to define sometimes when a relationship starts and when it ends. Do you have the same experience that sometimes it's a little hard to define when a relationship starts and ends?
Yes.
In your relationship with Miles, you told us about when it started, but when did it end for you? When, in your mind, when you said the relationship is over, when was that?
Before my birthday.
Before your birthday?
Yes.
And if you can tell me when your birthday is?
June 26th.
June 26th. All right. So, and we're talking about a number of years here when the relationship went on. So what year was the relationship over?
2022.
2022. You had, so June 26th of 2022 was your birthday. How long before your birthday do you think that, in your mind, the relationship was over?
I want to say like 3 days before.
So right before?
Yes.
Okay. Now, at that time, when you ended the relationship, well, let me ask, did you end it or did the defendant end it?
I ended it.
Okay. And when you ended the relationship, were you living with him at the time at the Sterling Glen Apartments?
Yes.
Now, maybe some obvious questions here, but I have to ask, when you were living there before breaking up, did you share a room with the defendant?
Yes.
His apartment there that you were living at, how many bedrooms was it?
One.
One bedroom. You had how many beds?
One.
Now, after the relationship ends shortly before your birthday, did you move out at that time?
No.
And how long did you stay at the apartment after that?
I can't remember.
Let me ask some similar questions. Did you stay in the apartment at all after that?
No.
You never lived or stayed at the apartment after you ended the relationship in June of 2022?
I remember packing some things, like half of my stuff, and staying at my parents' house. That's all I remember.
That's all you remember. And do you remember when that happened?
No.
Okay. Now, Ms. Parks, I'm going to take you to February 13th of 2020.
All right, so let's take a real quick break, okay? So real quick, second girlfriend, but it might have been the first girlfriend, sound like, right? She been dating him since 2019. She was only 17 when she started dating him. He eventually moved her in his house, okay? Now, what I stopped it for is, we don't know exactly when they broke up, but she moved out of his apartment approximately June 2022. A month before, Susanna came up missing on July 26th. Okay? But you know how it go when you break up and all that type of stuff, especially young, old, it don't matter. You still be having conversation or something. But she moved out of that apartment a month before. But just a side note to the side note, that means when them girls testified about how they had seen him around the apartments before because he was the duty security guard or the duty officer in the apartments, and how he had walked to the pool one day and offered him some drugs and alcohol and all that type of stuff. When he did those things, this girl would have been living in his apartment around that time. The other girl would have been dating him from college. And from testimony we already heard, he was still approaching young girls. Okay? Yes, he had the nerve to have multiple women and still was insatiable. Insatiable.
23.
Oh, and y'all keep tuning in. We getting into the juicy parts of this trial. So let me hush and we gonna get to it. Keep coming back. Keep your bells hit because baby, the good testimony is just getting started.
The day that the defendant was arrested, do you recall two detectives, Detective Xavier Biggers, or I said Lieutenant Xavier Biggers, and Corporal Austin Gorey coming to your parents' house to talk to you about the night of July 26, 2022, the night that Susana Morales went missing?
Yes.
Do you recall your conversation that you had with them at that time?
No.
Do you recall them asking you about the night, though, that she went missing?
A little bit. Yeah.
I understand. There's the questioning that they were asking you in that day related to the night of, and you chasing the allegation that the defendant had made of you chasing him around Norcross that night. Do you remember them asking you about that?
No.
Okay. When let me ask you, back on after you broke up with him in June of 2022, did you remain in communication with the defendant?
Yes.
How often?
Every other day. We remained as friends.
And you remained as somewhat more than friends even after that, right?
No.
Okay. Now, Ms. Parks, I'm going to have to remind you, you previously testified that after you broke up with the defendant in June of 2022, that you and the defendant remained friends with benefits. Do you recall testifying that just a few weeks ago?
I can't remember.
You can't remember?
No.
Okay. Well, Ms. Parks,
Shout out to
I'm
him,
asking
Renee.
you
I know
now,
you up there in the bushes.
did you remain friends with benefits with the defendant after you broke up with him?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, you also testified that you stayed in the apartment after you broke up for months. Do you recall testifying that even after you broke up, you were living in that apartment with him for months?
A little bit. Yes.
You do remember that?
A little bit.
Okay. Now, this is only 2 weeks ago. You remember testifying about that?
A little bit. I have a mom brain, so I tend to forget a lot of things.
I understand. You have, and we'll clarify, you have a newborn son?
A 5-month-old.
5 months. Yeah. How often would you spend time romantically with the defendant? I say romantically, but you're saying friends with benefits, so we could also say sexually. How often were you spending time with the defendant sexually after you broke up?
I can't remember.
Do you remember testifying 2 weeks ago that it was every week?
No.
Let me ask you, but even after you broke up with the defendant or you ended the relationship with the defendant, did you exchange text messages with him?
A little bit.
A little bit. You recall me telling you that there was over 1,600 pages of text messages between the two of you after this?
Okay, I want to take a pause for the cause. Thank you, Stills Girl, for becoming an official Lit Lane juror. Thank you so much. You are officially a juror now. Thank you for joining the membership. Now, what are y'all saying? Did he rape Susanna or did he say he didn't? Thank you for being a member for 7 months, Miss Step 219. If you see them in green, they are part of the official Lit Lane Jury Box team. Did he rape? Okay, we don't know exactly the manner of death, but we do know that we don't even know the cause of the death because the body was found 196 days later, in skeletal form. Okay, so the manner of her death is homicide, but we don't know the cause of her death. Is her man in the audience or something? Why is you lying? This is years ago. Okay. Now, I just heard something about, okay, boom. You just said you got a 5-month-old. We know you was cracking your legs open, stop playing. Right. But it sounds like she might have had another boyfriend or something. If that's what happened. Okay, y'all catch it. It's the BD in court, and she don't want to say she was still talking and sleeping with him. 1,600 pages. Wait a minute. Who say Miss Steph 7? Oh, that's a membership. Is your name Zenobia? Zenobia a little bit? Girl. I get it now. Oh my God. I had to roll it back a bit. She said, I have a mom brain. Wait, but she got a Wait. I got too busy typing. Hold on. No going back. I'm not going back. Let's continue. Y'all own it. Lord.
So it's a little more than a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Ms. Parks, I know you don't want to be here. I know you don't want to testify, but I need you to be honest and truthful about your answers, okay?
Okay.
Those messages, were they about, a lot of those messages, were you and the defendant arguing about your relationship?
Yes.
And even months, 6 months after you broke up, Were you sending him messages about wanting to spend your life together and loving him and those types of things?
I can't remember.
Do you remember me showing you those text messages 2 weeks ago and having you read out in court those messages where you were sending to him?
Yeah, I refresh my memory.
Okay. We're going to take you to the night of July 26th, 2022. At that time, you were still living in the home with the defendant?
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
No.
You remember telling Lieutenant Biggers and Corporal Gorig that you were living in the apartment with him that night?
I can't remember that far back.
I'm not asking whether you can remember that far back. I'm asking if you remember telling Lieutenant Biggers and Corporal Gorig on February 13th, 2023, when they came to your home, that you were living with the defendant in the home that night.
I can't remember.
Okay.
Ma'am, do you have any kind of medical issue that causes
No,
you
I
not to
just-
remember?
No, I just don't remember.
Okay, he's asking you questions from 2 weeks ago.
Girl,
I have a mom brain. I tend to forget a lot of things. That's why
Okay.
I mean, he can refresh my memory and show me things, and yeah, I can probably
Okay.
work with
I
him.
wondered if you had an issue that we needed to know about, take consideration for.
girl, is you slow? Is you retarded? Is you touched? This shit just happened 2 weeks ago, little mama. Stop tripping. Do you have a brain tumor? Do we need to get you a doctor's excuse? What the hell we need to get you? Do you still got dick on the brain? Girl, boo. If she got my brain, she must have had tryptans or some shit. Now, is this the one who gonna still be writing letters to him in prison? Is this the one who lying to cover up for him? Now is the time to wobble to say, I don't think I trust her testimony too much. It sounds like a little bit like she's still trying to cover for him. Okay? Let's continue. Best of trial watch with Demetra lit all day. Let's go.
No,
No.
May I approach the witness room?
certainly.
Ms. Parks, I'm going to show you a transcript from your testimony on May 21st of 2024. And have you look here, and I'm going to direct you to what I'm talking about here. And I should have shown the straight first. Let me do that. I just want to make sure that she knows what I'm showing you.
Oh, yeah, we saw a little peep of her face, but let's continue.
You see this?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to have you look right here, starting on at the top. Maybe I'll just undo the pages so it's a little easier to see. Okay. Up here at the top. One page back. Do you recall me asking you back on May 21st about a list of text messages between you and Mr. Bryant?
Where are you reading that at? I'm
Right
sorry.
here, if you read in the last two lines.
Here?
Yes, ma'am. You don't have to read it out loud. You can just read it to yourself. And you had a chance to review it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Now, do you recall me asking you, as you view these next pages, about the text messages that you and the defendant exchanged after July 26th of 2022?
Now I remember.
Now you remember. Okay.
Yes.
So let me ask you, do you recall this text message here on September 13th of 2022 where the defendant texted you, "Love you, leave the door unlocked"?
Yes.
Okay. And on December 11th, and I'll show you this one down here, December 11th of 2022, do you recall sending a text message from you to the defendant where you said, "I want to continue a future with you. I love you, Miles Bryant"? Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you recall this text message on January 28th of 2023, right here, where it said, where you read out in court and it says, "See you when I get home," to the defendant?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Parks, now that I have refreshed your recollection, do you remember or acknowledge sending those text messages? And I showed you in there over 1,400 pages of text messages between you and the defendant sent after July 26th of 2022.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, those text messages, "I'll see you when I get home," "Love you," "Leave the door unlocked," and reviewing those text messages.
I forgot. I'm sorry. Sidebar. I gotta say this right now, but I'm remembering it. My bad. However, speaking of Stig's girls, you know, Stig's girl on both this side and the other side is a long standing pit crew VIP member and subscriber and supporter and friend to the channel. So if you see Stig's girls in the comment, don't never block her or nothing like that on an accident, nothing like that. You know, or you bring it back. Okay? All right. I forgot to say that because I think she had got blocked or something that happened, or something happened. I don't know, but you know, I know we have went through a lot of changes on this channel, but Stig's girl is a friend to the channel. I just remembered that. Let's continue.
Being honest before this court under oath, you were still living with the defendant at his apartment at Sterling Glen Apartments after July 26th of 2022. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to take you to that night. You've given statements to my office. You've given statements to the police. You've testified in court about all of these things. So I'm going to ask you, what happened that night? Were you and the defendant arguing that night?
I want to say yes.
Okay. And what, if you recall, what were you arguing about?
Him being faithful to me.
All right. Him being faithful to you. Did you suspect him of cheating on you at that time?
Yes.
In fact, was that a constant concern pretty much throughout your relationship?
Yes.
Did you know a specific person he had cheated on you with?
Not really.
Did you know somebody named Avion Smyer, or who she was?
Yes. Yes.
Had you ever met her?
No.
But how did you know who she was?
I was cleaning out a bin of clothes and I came across like a love letter from her, and it was a picture of them together. And it was a t-shirt with her name on it and I guess a graduation year. I can't remember. I just know that her name was on the back of a shirt.
Throughout your relationship with the defendant, did you consistently, I'll say consistently, but at times were there times that you would argue with him and confront him about your suspicions of him cheating on you?
Yes.
Was it a pretty common argument that the two of you had?
Yes.
When you would confront the defendant with these allegations that he's cheating on you and things like that, did he admit them, or did he come up with an excuse, or what happened?
Excuses.
Okay. Now, that night, the 26th, did you have such an argument with him that we've been discussing, this confronting him about being unfaithful to you?
Yes.
Now, I know it's a long time ago, and so you just do the best you can on remembering. But what time did that start in that day? Was it already going on all day, or was there something that day, if you remember, that triggered that argument?
It was going on all day.
Now, ultimately, you're aware, because we've talked about it before, and you've been questioned about it by police and everybody. The defendant says that you were chasing him around Norcross and other places potentially, just around Norcross that night because of the argument. Were you doing that?
I can't remember.
Do you recall telling Lieutenant Xavier Biggers and Corporal Austin Goring and myself and Investigator Kelly Perkins in the back of the courtroom and Eddie Tucci and everybody else that you did not chase him around Norcross that night?
Did not chase him.
Do you recall telling us that that night you were not chasing the defendant around Norcross?
I'm sorry, repeat that question one more time. What last part? The last part.
So the first question was, were you chasing the defendant around Norcross all night that night after that argument?
No.
Thank you. Now, I want to show you a photograph. I marked it as Exhibit 53. I'm going to show this trick first. Do you recognize this photograph?
Yes.
All right. And what is this a photograph of, Ms. Parks?
Oakland Townhomes, Oakland Trace Townhomes.
And I can hear you because I'm standing really close to you, but it was you're speaking a little low. Could you say that again so that the court reporter and the jury can hear what you're saying?
Oakland Townhomes, Oakland Trace Townhomes.
Okay, so you're saying the Oak Knoll Townhomes. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
All right. I'm asking you, is this what is a photograph of in general?
The street. I see houses, townhomes.
All right. And does this appear, have you been to this area before off Steve Reynolds Boulevard, the Oak Knoll Trace and Oak Knoll Townhomes area?
No.
I'm not saying you've been in the complex, I'm sorry, but down this road and around this area.
I passed it a couple of times, yes.
Okay. Is this an accurate description of that area?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I move to admit State's Exhibit number 53.
No objection.
State's Exhibit 53 is admitted without objection.
Would you, Judge, may I have permission to publish?
Certainly.
Would you please publish? All right. Now, Ms. Parks.
Good perspective. She little woody wife. Look, I don't know, man.
Big monitor to your left here. And I'm going
Oh, Linda B says she better not have no more babies.
to make our lives a little easier here.
And somebody say,
You recall me showing this photograph to you before a few times before you come into court?
talking over me. Real quick. Somebody said, Tweety said, I hope these ladies have learned their lesson. When you think somebody is cheating 95% of the time, they probably are. It's a lot of lessons to be learned from this that these young ladies should have learned, right? And on just my own opinion, it sounded to me like the first girlfriend with the faux locks, she sounded like she get it. Like she put it together like, damn, I was thinking this. Man, my text message even shows that I was on to the fact this nigga cheating, this nigga lying. I knew he was lying. I knew he was cheating. You could tell in my text. She was already on top of it at 19, 18, 19. You know what I'm saying? So now this shit I'm pretty certain she wasn't taking two. You know what I'm saying? That girl taking them with nickels for that minute. She still wasn't slow to the shit. And now this type of stuff, oh man, she know for a fact to trust her first instinct, right? Now this second young lady, I don't know if she got the goddamn point yet. I hope she didn't got it, but she didn't. This nigga been in jail for all this time. She still, anywho, y'all watching. It might be a long, hard road for her to hold.
Yes. Yes.
Let's continue.
And again, you're gonna have to speak up just so that everybody can hear you, okay?
If you pull the microphones together, they seem to project better. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you, that night, did you confront the defendant? As you were arguing, did you confront the defendant somewhere about him possibly being cheating on you with somebody?
Yes.
All right. And where did you confront him at? Where did you, just tell us. Let me ask you this before you think. Is the location that you confronted him on the map here contained in Exhibit 53?
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you could, I'm going to ask you to, we have this pointer so that you don't have to reach too far. But if you can stand up and use this, if you show the jury where it was that you confronted the defendant that night. And you can stand up, you can get a little closer.
Be careful of those steps.
Yeah, be careful with those steps. Okay. So thank you so much, Ms. Parks. I want to make sure I'm being correct. On State's Exhibit 53, you're pointing to this roadway here that's directly across Steve Reynolds Boulevard from Oak Lock Trace?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Describe for the jury, first of all, how did you come to find the defendant on that road?
That night, I was just driving around as usual to clear my head, and I came across like a truck that looked like his, and I followed it from a distance, and I seen that he made a left from, he was coming from this way, and he made like a left turn into the complex that's right here.
Okay, so, and I want to make sure that I understand you correctly. The defendant in his truck, was it the black F-150 that he owned and drove?
Yes.
All right. So he was heading on Steve Reynolds Boulevard on this photograph, State's Exhibit 53, kind of from right to left.
Yes.
All right. Now, is that back towards your apartment where you guys were living at?
Yes.
All right. And as he's doing that, did you see him turn left onto the roadway that is across the street from Oak Lock Trace?
Yes.
All right. What did you do?
I followed him from a distance, and as I seen that he made like another turn into like a parking area, he was backing up, and I blocked my car in so he couldn't get out, and that's when I confronted him.
And I can imagine that you were probably pretty upset, were you?
Yes.
What did you say? What happened?
I was asking him, who did he know that lives here, and why are you here? He couldn't answer me, and he took off.
Do you have any idea what time this was?
No.
And after you confronted him that night, well, let me ask you first, did you see anybody in the truck with him?
No.
And where were you at? Did you get out of your car?
I got out.
All right. Where did you get?
To the driver door. He cracked his window.
So he cracked the window?
Yes.
And what you're asking him about whether he knows anybody there, did he say anything to you?
No.
Now, how long, and again, we don't have to get it, we're not talking exact
Oh,
seconds,
she definitely with the
just
shit.
The best that you can remember.
She got time
How
to be chasing
long
niggas
did that
around. She didn't go to
encounter
college.
I want to say probably like a minute or two.
And what ended it?
I gave up. I was tired of asking questions, and I left him alone.
So did you get back in your car?
Yes.
And where'd you go?
I went to the apartment and packed up a couple of things.
What was your intention that night when you went back to the apartment to pack up some things?
At the time, I didn't want to see him.
You were packing up some things. Were you going to leave?
Yes,
And where were you going to go?
to my parents' house
And you don't have to give us an address, but just generally, where do your parents live at?
in Norcross.
Okay. How far from this apartment, from where you were living at the Sterling Glen, is your parents' home?
Probably like 5 or 6 minutes.
5, 6. That's if you're driving?
Yes,
Ultimately, that night, after that, do you recall talking to the defendant?
maybe.
And maybe another way of saying this is that throughout the night, were you guys calling back and forth, you calling him calling you back, talking on the phone to each other, kind of the continuation of the argument?
Yes,
When you saw him there near the Oak Lock Trace, did you see anybody in the vehicle with him?
no,
Did you get in the car?
no.
And outside that time of day, was it light outside or was it dark outside?
It was dark.
So was it nighttime?
Yes,
When you went back to the apartment, how long do you think it took you to pack up stuff there at the apartment?
I want to say like a good 10, 20 minutes. I had a lot of stuff.
I understand. Now, once you packed up, did you leave the apartment that night?
I might have. I can't remember.
It's all right. That's no problem. You don't recall. Even though your intention might have been to go stay with your parents that night, you didn't actually move out and stop staying in his apartment after that?
No,
Do you know how long it was before you came, if you left, how long it was before you came back?
no.
Because you stayed at the apartment longer, living there, and you and the defendant, when you look at the text messages, still had some level of relationship. Did you ever confront him about this later? What's going on? Why are you there? Who are you with? Anything like that? Any other conversations after that?
I can't remember.
Well, let me ask you a kind of similar question. Did the defendant ever tell you that he was with somebody or confess to you that he had some kind of, he was cheating on you with somebody there?
No,
Did the defendant give you excuses about things that night?
I can't remember.
That's okay. That night, did you ever go out to Decula, Georgia, into the wooded area there on the side of Highway 316?
No,
The rest of that night, did you ever see the defendant the rest of that night after you left?
no.
Now, I showed you a moment ago when we were going through the transcript and refreshing your memory, a text on January 28th of 2023 about see you when I get home, or I'm coming home to the house, to the apartment there. At that time, were you still staying at times there at the apartment with him in January 28th of 2023?
No,
Now, up until his arrest, February 13th of 2023, were there times that you would stay over at his house?
no.
So texting him that you're coming home or that you're going to see him at home, things like that. What home are you referring to?
My parents' house.
Was he coming over to your parents' home? Was he living there with you at your parents' home?
No,
Okay. Now, even on the day that he was arrested, do you recall the defendant calling you and telling you that he was going up to the Gwinnett County Police Department to talk to the police about Susana Morales' death?
Yes.
So on the day of, when he was arrested, he called you to let you know where he was at and what he was doing.
Yes.
After he was arrested, did you still remain in contact with him while he was in the jail?
Yes.
Answered his phone calls and talked to him?
Yes.
At some point, did you stop talking to him?
Yes.
Just give us an idea of when that was.
I can't remember.
Can't remember.
Like stop answering phone calls from jail.
Yes, ma'am. And maybe I can ask it in another way that might be more helpful. How long after his arrest did you know? Are we days, weeks, months?
It was probably some months.
Okay. Did you move on into another relationship?
Yes.
Just 1 minute, Ms. Parks.
Okay, real quick pause for the cause while they doing this. On trial right now, defendant Miles Bryant at the time was an active police officer, young police officer, on trial for the murder and kidnapping of Susana Morales, a high school sophomore.
Just a couple of questions.
Skeletal remains found
Do you have the
almost
same phone number now
after she
that you
was
had
reported
at the
missing.
time of all these incidents?
Yes.
Can you tell us your phone
But
number,
on the
please?
stand right now is one of his ex-girlfriends.
I don't want to expose my phone number.
You have to testify to your phone number, Ms. Parks.
44226-2429.
Okay, thank you. I'm not
Keep
trying to
in mind,
embarrass
you guys, that you're
Now-
just joining us, thank you. Keep coming back in, and don't forget, it's a
Before
playlist
you-
where you can check
I
out the
just- I wanna
first
revisit that. I skipped
few
over
parts.
something I should have asked you. At some point in that evening, you testified about finding and confronting the defendant in this photograph here on State Exhibit 53. How long, if you know, before that, how long have you been driving around, kind of clearing your head?
Probably for 10 minutes.
And so did you leave the apartment and then start driving around for the 15 minutes, or were you somewhere else?
I was around Norcross. Wait, can you repeat that?
Sure, I can repeat it. You said you started driving and maybe you drove around for 15 minutes or so. Where were you before you started driving around?
I was at the apartment.
And how long before you left did the defendant leave?
I can't remember.
Was it before you though?
Yes.
Okay. So he left before you, and then at some point you left to go clear your head.
Yes.
Had he been at the apartment with you that night?
He was gone all day.
So with the argument that you two got into that night, was it all over phone calls and text messages, or was any part of that before you saw him at that apartment or that neighborhood? Was any part of it in person? If you remember.
I can't remember.
I understand. Ms. Parks, I think those are all the questions I have for you. Thank you.
Ms. Drake?
Thank you. I'm just going to have a few questions for you. So you saw what you thought was his truck and you followed him a certain distance,
Yes.
and then he pulled into an apartment complex, correct?
Yes.
Do you remember telling Sergeant Biggers and another officer that you met back up with Mr. Bryant at a QT on Beaver Ruin Road and Indian Trail later that evening or the next morning or something?
I can't remember.
You don't remember saying that?
No.
Did you meet up with him again after that initial confrontation?
I can't remember. I probably have.
Did you go back home to the apartment that night? Did you go back to your apartment that night? The one where you and Miles were staying?
Yes.
May I have just one moment, please?
Thank you for the cash app. And again, thank you for the super chat and the new membership.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Parks.
You here?
Nothing further, Your Honor, but.
Uh-oh.
Wish this witness to remain.
And sequestered.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we're going to end it right there, because I want to make sure that you guys tune in and come back on tomorrow night. Okay, night court is now back in session. We are covering the state of Georgia versus Miles Bryant. We heard from the mother of Susanna Bryant. We heard from her sister, her friends, some of the investigating officers. Now, the prosecution, yes, is absolutely making its case. At this moment in time, I do believe it's a case of his character and also his movements and whereabouts the date of the crime. So tonight we saw some great testimony from 3 witnesses. First, we started off with the first ex-girlfriend. We know already she was off to school. The second witness, the mama, she don't remember nothing. Okay. Third, we just heard from the another girlfriend who actually lived at those apartments with the defendant. Good night, Foot Soldier. She lived there with him. On about the same night of the crime, he was literally fighting with both his girlfriends, his college girlfriend, his live-in girlfriend. He had all that going on, and somewhere in the midst, we know now he found the time to go unalive Susanna Morales, 16 years old, while being manipulative, conniving, sneaky, all this going on at the same exact time. Just to put it in a clear picture for you guys, right? I'm pretty sure we all get it. So tomorrow night, make sure y'all tune in. What's going to happen in part 6? This is part 5. Part 6, we're going to watch we're going to hear the 911 call from Miles Bryant about his stolen gun. We're going to see body cam footage of when they went to his house to take the report of the stolen gun. We're going to see a testimony from a snitch, a jailhouse snitch. So we have another great best of trial night tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I hope y'all enjoyed us staying on format. Stay tuned until we meet again. Night court is now convened. Travel safe.
Thanks for watching. Do not forget click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon. Like, comment and share. See you next time. Thanks.